Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to, once again, when you construct something and get something ready, it all falls apart because it's not there. We were going to talk about the logs. Unfortunately, the server does not have the log stats on, which is a bit of a shame. I know, it is such a shame. I think you've just spoken for the whole of the stream there. It's a shame, I'm afraid. But what we can say is just numlocked had a lot of damage there in that whole game. Like, even kaidus, I mean, when you look at that long round they had, that third round, kaidus was top damage. But then you look at it, and it's Epsilon Mike, Epsilon numlocked, it's Epsilon Bash. You know, it's all the Epsilon players getting the damage in. But like I said on that last mid, they had this, almost felt like it was 6 players looking at 6 people. So it wasn't 6 players looking at 5 people, and then one scout runs around and, oh dear, there goes our medic. So everyone knew what they were doing, and it was just smooth like butter. Smooth.
Well, I guess so, to an extent, but I doubt that's hardly relevant. But it did show that Epsilon was just coming out on top. Like, every single time they had the advantage, they used it. Even when they didn't have an advantage, they've kind of learned to be able to use it anyway, which is something that most teams really can't do. And it really does show when you see Epsilon just playing together as a team, you know, listening to their comms and just seeing how they work together. And I'm expecting no different from this game. I believe this is best of 5, so it's the first to 3, right?
The first of 3, yeah. It's this is something that's really new. I was just going to go talk about it because I haven't seen this in comp. This is the first time we've seen Viaduct Pro RC blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. I'm not even going to go through all the variations and stuff. But it's going to be best of 5, like you said. I can't remember the times for King of the Hill maps. I think you capture it. It's like a 30-second delay to capture the point, followed by, when you hold it, you've got to hold it for 2 minutes, isn't it? It's 2 minutes,
3.
isn't it? It's 3? Wow! Wow! When was the last time I played this map? Wow! It's 3 minutes! It's 3 minutes, so... And one thing is, how do you play this map? Like, I'm sure if anyone's ever played Pub or ever played Highlander, you know how to play it, but let's put 6 people together. Let's make it 6v6. How do you play it?
I don't know. It's a weird map, and I mean, it is played in 6s, obviously, because we're watching it now. But I mean, in my eyes, it just seems better fitted for Highlander. But saying that, I feel like now looking over the map that maybe 6s would actually be better on this map. I mean, the positioning side of it just seems brilliant, and I feel like, I mean, I was watching some of Epsilon's scrims prior to this, and the way that Epsilon went about it was pretty decent, and I mean, they really kind of know what they're doing on this map. Of course, I can't really speak for Skidmark Central. I haven't really seen them play on this map, but I feel like Epsilon are going to come out on top, not just because of what happened the last game and what's kind of happening for the past year of dominating the TF2 scene, but I just kind of feel like they'll know what they know what they're doing, and they're going to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Pro. I must admit, Pro is fantastic. When you talk about, I did remember, you've got someone like Greg that can probably run a perma sniper at the start, because that's one thing that Pro really does. It opens up the areas and it incorporates the sniper play. So you are going to see some snipers coming out. And like I said, don't be surprised if they run a perma sniper. But when you've got Greg in the pool, he'll be playing a sniper. I'm trying to think now. It would probably be Schocky or Bash, one of the other. I can't remember who would be picking up the sniper rifle for Epsilon. But I'm really just looking forward to how this plays. But if Epsilon lose this map, can we asterisk it? Oh, they're live. Sorry, they are live. So I'm just going to quickly say, I'm just going to say, welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. The second map tonight, it is Viaduct. In the red is the undefeated Epsilon. In the blue is Skidmark Central. I am Skully. With me tonight is Haydn. And Haydn, please take us away on this middle.
So of course we're going to see both teams getting to mid. That's kind of what happens at the start of these games. We see both soldiers for Skidmark Central just trying to get behind Epsilon, just trying to bomb in. Numlocked and Schocky do go down, but Skeej is taken out very quickly as well to a nice rocket from Gear, and that's pretty much almost a wipe for Skidmark Central. Kyler and Greg are the only ones up, and they're very weak right now. They're just going to have to fall out of this. Kyler goes down trying to be a bit too aggressive, and Greg falling all the way back to spawn. That was a very interesting middle. You just kind of saw the aggression really paying off for both teams.
I was surprised because Skidmark had a really strong start there. Forced everybody from Epsilon onto the low ground, but then allowed them to get in the air. So it's just such a shame. Like, Skidmark's almost had that, and Epsilon just managed to pull it out. So now they're just going to play the defense game. Now they're going to try and deny them anything possible. The Ubers get traded anyway, and you see that Epsilon are able to be strong here. They are able to take the frag, and this, I'm afraid, is what you're going to see a lot of right now. You're going to see that through the choke areas, that Skidmark will try and break through, as Epsilon will use their dominance to just almost, I hate to say the C word, camp.
So we do see Skidmark just sat in spawn, just really ready. We see actually Gear just waiting on top of that lamppost, trying to get a pick. It doesn't do anything, but it does actually damage a lot of Skidmark, which just kind of forced them to wait even longer. So we do see an Uber from Skidmark prepared. We are probably going to see that coming in right now, though, so I'm interested to see kind of what happens here. They're holding onto this Uber for as long as they can. They're trying to get onto this point. Skidmark Central are getting onto the point very quickly. Epsilon know they have the advantage. They didn't have to use the Uber. Epsilon is going to be waiting to grab that Uber, though, and actually push back out into them. And I've also been saying that Schocky did actually go down, which is a slight disadvantage, but he's up and ready. We do see the Uber coming in from Epsilon very early, though, so it does look like Skidmark are going to be able to counter this very easily.
I don't know. They lost kaidus before the Uber exchange happened, and they are really losing people, really scrappy at the moment. As you can see, Gear picking that up right now. Gear and numlocked able to pick that up, and basically kaidus going down was a bit of a benchmark there. It was really bad for them. They needed that spam damage just to keep them alive, and now it's just a case of Epsilon once again camping, and they've got 142 left to win this first point round. I don't exactly know how you would describe it because it's a cop map, but we shall see. And I would like sometimes to try and get some comps, but it's really hard on a Viaduct when you're holding this much what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, we did actually see there where Skidmark Central just pushed through the left, and none of Epsilon was looking at that, and I feel like if Epsilon was really just watching that left-hand side, Skidmark wouldn't have been able to push onto this point and really be able to cap this point. They could have really pressured them out through that choke, through the left-hand door. But Skidmark Central do manage to get onto the point. Knox did go down, so there's a 100% advantage in that. So, I mean, Skidmark are probably going to be able to hold this for a little bit. So we are going to see that. Going to be pretty interesting. Hopefully, we're going to see some interesting players now. Skidmark Central really stepping into game like, look, Epsilon, you want this point? I think we'll take it off you for a few minutes. So, we're going to see that. We're just kind of waiting for anything to happen. You know, the tables have kind of turned. You know, we saw Skidmark Central being spawn camped, or pretty much spawn camped by Epsilon, and now it does look like they are just going to be trying to do the same back to Epsilon.
Are they looking to force? What are they trying to do right now? Well, they've lost numlocked straight away, but they forced the Uber. But at the same time, lose Gear, lose Mike, and lose Schocky from just the scouts, and then flisko as well just came in there and just picked up a few. Bash and Knox is still up with 70% Uber. They'll be happy to go back in right now, and I'll tell you what, I think when this Uber gets ready, it is going to be ready. Let's see if we can get some comms from Epsilon, just see how they're going to approach this.
Okay, got it. Let's go. The chaos, no sniper.
No, I see two scouts.
Get a switching bottom.
The left side.
Wow, you're low. You're really low. I have to use it.
Go fast. Up.
It's weak.
Go, Gear.
Scout, at least. It's really weak this time.
They're going far right, I think they're going far right. We need to hold forward and force it and get out.
Yeah. I hold forward, but staying back a bit. You're
Yeah.
cold when they're far left. We have to quick backing. Way back.
Again, just those small things. I see two scouts. Of course, you see two scouts. Of course, you're going to call it. But it's just the way that it's just so calmly done. And just three precise. And here they go. They actually went for the left way. That completely confused Epsilon. Uber's not been used whatsoever. Daleth on 1 HP and he is still surviving for them. Finally gets some heals. But because of this delay, is Skeej going to pop this before Epsilon's got anywhere near their Uber? Skeej still hasn't popped this. Finally pops this. And the whole of Skidmarks are so low, he's going to share this as much as he can. And it's not going to work for them.
Yeah, I mean, we see kaidus just trying to throw some stickies over and just scare Epsilon away. And they did an absolutely phenomenal job at it. And whilst I say that, we are actually going to see Epsilon pushing back onto this point. They are going to try to do what Skidmark just did and hold onto the Uber for as long as they can. Now, we do see a couple of respawns coming in from Skidmark as they did lose 4 of their players. So, I mean, it does look like Epsilon are very favourable right now. They have the Uber and they should really be able to hold this. But you never know. Maybe we'll see a med drop. Maybe we'll see something interesting coming out of Epsilon and we may see Skidmark be able to do something. And whilst I say this, we're going to see Skidmark Central take their last push onto this. We see the Uber coming in from Epsilon though, taking out kaidus, taking out skeej as well.
Oh,
this is the
numlocked.
first round to
That has
Epsilon.
to be the first round, and I just love the way they just stood back with 40 seconds left. They did not go aggressive, they just stayed back and just asked them to come onto the point. Skidmark knew they had to, and that was a really energetic first point there. It goes to Epsilon, kind of expected, but wow, what a fight that was. Really smart plays from Epsilon, really great aggressive from Skidmark, but at the end of the day, it's 1-0 to Epsilon. They're 2 points away from keeping undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem very likely that Epsilon are going to be able to do that, but it was quite close at that round right there. So we are going to see Daleth just jumping in here, trying to do some damage onto Knox. It doesn't seem to be enough. He does kind of get caught up onto this rock, but he is doing quite a bit of damage. But it isn't going to be enough. Daleth and Flisko going down very quickly at the mid-fight. We see Schocky trying to pistol down kaidus right now. kaidus taking a lot of damage as well, but he doesn't go down either. Skeej is very weak. Just a lot of Skidmark Central taking a lot of damage. Schocky almost getting out of there with 1 health, but he does get taken down very nicely by Kyler. And nobody's got this midpoint right now. Nobody's really feeling confident on trying to grab it. It does seem like Epsilon are actually trying to do something, but it's not going to be enough. We see the Uber forced by Epsilon, or forced onto Epsilon, so that does mean that the Uber advantage for Skidmark is just insane right now, almost 100%.
And he kept it all on numlocked. That just shows something. Uber finally gets changed. The point's still not captured. They want this point captured right now, and Skidmark managed to use it. I think there's a bit of a funny moment that I did miss that. Anyway, Skidmark have kept it, but at the same time, they're now 20, 30, and almost 30% behind in terms of Uber. So Epsilon could either be complacent and let them keep it, and they've just lost Gear and Schocky, so I think they will. They'll let Skidmark take the mid finally, take the point finally, but they're in a great position right now to go back in.
I mean, it's just Epsilon's... I don't know what it's about Epsilon, but they just make things work, and I don't understand how or why they get away with so much, but they just do. So we're actually going to see the Uber from Epsilon. Knox just surfing out of the way. Or Flisko trying to go for a bomb, and he's just like, no, I'm just going to airstrip around all of your rockets. And Epsilon are going to be pushing onto this point, and now we see Skidmark Central almost having that 100% as well, and they're easily going to be able to counter this. Flisko just respawning, kaidus actually went down, but as I say that numlocked goes down, so does Bash and so does Might. Even though they have this Uber, I feel like Skidmark Central should really come out on top statistically, but I mean, Epsilon, as I said, getting away with so much, they're going to be able to hold this point.
Mike and Bash there, crucial, putting Skeej on 9 health, and he had no choice. He saw 9 and had no choice but to pop that Uber. So that gave them the advantage that Epsilon needed to see, and they are having this point, and now the times are equal. Now it's in favour of Epsilon as they go for another destruction of Skidmark Central right now. Some great plays. Look at that bomb by that bomb from Mike onto Skeej, almost just breaking up the heel beat. That's just how good it was.
It's just Epsilon. I don't get it, but Epsilon really showing the aggression right now, as we've seen for the majority of this game. They're actually going to be pushing straight into their chokes, just trying to hold a bit forward. They do seem to have actually fallen back a bit though, so they're just going to be kind of trying to play a bit passively. We actually see about a 70% Uber advantage though from Epsilon, so it does seem likely that Epsilon will be able to hold this very nicely. A lot of Skidmark just suicided in there. Nothing came out of that at all. Skeej did stay alive though. They are building in spawn with Greg right now, and so it does seem likely that maybe they'll be able to push into this, but Skidmark Central just throwing corpses onto the point and just losing time.
Well, the throwing corpses is a good idea to try and force the Uber and try and also delay so Skeej can get Uber, but it's not worth for them. And now we've got an Uber versus Uber, and I want to just go straight to the Epsilon comps to see how they're going to defend this. Let's just quickly go in, because I'm pretty sure this is going to go down right now.
Double jump? No? Oh, sorry, my bad.
He's weak,
Nice,
nice down.
Nice, we will later. Just a bit. I'm with you,
I'll step back.
Wow.
Fuck up.
You're both weak, Mike, on 7.
I'm ready to reach down, someone else knocks.
No, no one there.
Near not stuck in this corner here.
We're stuck in your corner, go back.
Static 40.
Go back, we're stuck in your
I'm
corner.
standing.
We're gonna
Right
push
side.
for which, bro? Come, Mike,
Just the right side. Right side, come on.
Did not work for them, did it? Whatsoever. They got out of position. That's what it looked like to me. And they lose gear as well, which is not going to help them. Skidmark do capture this, but when you look at it, there's 2 minutes left for them to hold on to that point compared to Epsilon with 56 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it does just seem like Skidmark are just really using those pushes and using them well. Bash trying to get behind here. He takes down Skeej with a pistol, though. even though Epsilon did lose a lot of players right there, that was some pretty nice pistol shots. And with about almost, I want to say it's going to be about 100% advantage for Epsilon. Yeah, it's just going to be Epsilon really going to be able to push back out of this. It does seem like they are going to be able to go up this top left-hand side cliff right now, just spamming over the stickies. It's about 90% advantage now, so they'll have no problems with capping this. I think they're actually going to try hold onto it for as long as they can. A lot of Skidmark actually do take a lot of damage as well, though, and they are being pressured back, and they don't even have to use this Uber, and they are prepared for as soon as Skidmark push. But as we saw last time, we saw Skidmark push, and they just beat Epsilon.
Yeah, exactly. And when you think about it, with no Uber though, what are they going to do? Are they going to try suiciding people in to try and get the Uber force when there's 40 seconds left to capture? This is questionable now to look for an Uber pop, and they've lost Kyler, they lost Flisko, I think they lost somebody else as well. 30-second cooldown now coming on, so Epsilon need to hold this for 25 seconds. I think they've got this. Now the Uber's equal. Let's see what's going to happen, because Skidmarks, they want to go for it. Are they going to go left? They're going to go right? They're going to go in the middle? Where do you want to go? Top, middle, or bottom? I say top, middle, or bottom. That's what they're going to say. Don't know where they want to go right now, and it's going to be crucial because 10 seconds. And Epsilon just decides, you know what? We'll make the choice for you. We'll run straight at you with the Uber. Nothing you can do. 3 seconds. There's going to be a small bit of overtime because people are still alive. Here comes the overtime. They may actually get this because of the aggression of Epsilon. Need to stop that last player. There's an air shot by Daleth there onto Cart. That was onto numlocked, I think it was. Does not matter. The overtime's finished. 2-0 Epsilon. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Epsilon's aggression. You even called it right there about how they just made the decision for Skidmark Central and just pushed into them. They weren't waiting. There were 10 seconds left on the clock, and they just rushed straight into Skidmark Central, and it just paid off in their favour. So we are going to see Kyler chipping off a bit of damage to the scouts very quickly, just trying to do a bit of work right at the start here. It is just kind of a lot of waiting around. But as I say that, where we see a Chris Creek well, okay, that's from Epsilon. Brilliant! That's what I want to see. So we see Daleth and kaidus and Greg going down with about 60% Uber for Skeej. Skeej goes down by numlocked. Shocking.
Where's the skybox? Who made this map? Where's the skybox? He went completely around. He probably could have gone ring around the rose and did another 2 laps around that building before he landed on Skeej. But that was just amazing play. I saw this body flying. I'm like, where's he going? And then I see a dead medic. Who needs the crit creek? It's actually gonna, if anything, it's gonna hinder them now that they're defending. I'd like to see what they're gonna do with the crit creek, especially with defending, but wow, numlocked, bring around the roses.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. Just the way that it just works. I've said that too many times, but I'm gonna say it again. Nox actually forced crit creek out of there. And that is going to be Skidmark Central are going to know that they're running crit screen right now, removing that element of surprise, but I feel like Epsilon should really be able to hold it. Skeej coming up to 100% Uber as well, still using the stock minigun though, which is definitely going to be beneficial for pushing out, so we should see something going now. I do actually want to see where this Uber does go. It does look like they are going to be pushing down this little corridor going up the cliff area. And we should see kind of Uber scenarios going on right now. Nox is almost at Uber again though. Even though it is a crit screen, he should really be able to do anything. We're actually going to see Skeej still holding on to this Uber, popping it very late. But Nox is going to be able to have that crit screen. And if this Uber does wear off with Skeej having no one to heal, Epsilon should really be able to repush this.
Smart move by Epsilon, really. Like they would have been happy for Skidmarks to take mid for free and then crit screen onto the Uber. But in other words, they've actually just made it easier for them, as now they can crit screen onto nothing. Which is better when you crit screen onto nothing. Airshot onto Haydn. Brilliant, and Daleth goes down because they're trying to bomb for the crit screen, trying to stop the crit screen. And now, with it going to be 6 versus 4, you have to think Skidmark will look to go on this. 2:26 is the countdown right now. They take down Flisko. There goes Kyler. They don't even need to use the crit screen. And in fact, Skeej is going to be staying there with Greg. All I can hear in my headphones is the sound of a scout losing health because of that Boston Basher. That's all I can hear right now.
But Epsilon, they're going balls deep aggression right now, just going over to their spawn. Skeej does have the Uber though, so they can push out. They were just trying to get a few crit stickies over to their spawn door, but I don't think it was going to be enough. We do actually see, as I said, Skeej on 100%, so they should really be able to look into pushing out right now. They don't have too much time, really. 1 minute 20. We see Gear trying to go for the bomb, but it just wasn't enough. Uber's the Uber is being held onto for a very nice long amount of time. Epsilon still running that crit screen, though, still going to be beneficial. We actually saw the force right there, and we are going to see Skeej just trying to do something, and that is actually going to be the Uber and you know, just the midpoint to Skidmark Central.
So once again, it's knight to b5, your move. I think you're out of check. Come on, do it again. We're going to see Epsilon come in with the crits once again. Let's see if they do some exciting things right now. Airshot come in, but there's not killed anything. Flisko goes down, followed by Haydn. Crit screen still hasn't been popped. The skeej is on 54. Now, what's going to happen yet again? I mean, this has been the staple of this final round. In that Epsilon don't want to let go of the crit screen, but at the same time, Skeej and Skidmark will not push on. And look at the crit screen takes out Kyler. And are they just bored right now? They're going to go for this. There goes numlocked and there goes Muff. They use the crit screen to get Kyler in bait. I mean, rage lock is what someone just said on STP. I love it. I think that's fantastic description right now. And they are going to have, once again, Skeej, here we go, Skidmark Central. They're going to walk in right now. Will they take this for free? Are we going to see a drop? This could be decisive, but with 25 seconds, what's it going to stop? 24. 145 versus 24 seconds. I think it's in Epsilon's favour if they just get this crit screen off right now. Maybe they finally got the position they want to go. There goes Daleth straight away, and there goes Mike as a trade. Soldier for a soldier. What's going to happen as we see Epsilon trying to be aggressive? Make Skeej pop. Skeej has no choice but to pop it. Can't find anybody, and there is a scout behind. They found the scout? No, they've not found Bash. Finally found Bash. Bash is just going to be a nuisance as the air comes to Stickies. Not pop the crit screen yet. Why not? It's only numlocked, you know. Just push them out. If they force them out right now, they probably have won this. There goes the crit. One crit sticky, nothing. Two crit stickies, nothing. Keeps the crit stickies. Finally takes out Flisko. Nothing else happens. Makes the play to take out a soldier, though. I think they've got this. There goes Skeej.
Yeah,
I think
Epsilon's got this. Easily. 20 seconds left on the point. Skidmark in no position to re-push out. That has to be a 3-0. 10 seconds left on the clock. Epsilon just not really doing anything. Skidmark tried to do something. Daleth getting airshot by Epsilon Mike right there. That was absolutely huge. Just Skeej left alive, and that was 3-0 to Epsilon.
That is convincing. I mean, the first round wasn't that convincing, but then at the end of that, Epsilon just got well, pardon the pun, they got their gear. They got in the right gear. They got in the right gear because they were number locked, and then they bashed everybody. And it was shocking. You know, and it was all done by a guy called. It was all done by a guy called.
I got
Mike.
this pun thing.
Okay,
yeah.
you got it.
And then that Knox thing, right? I got this.
Oh, they knocked people out, didn't they? That's right. That's right. So let's start this. Yeah. So they leveled up a gear because they were numlocked, and they decided to bash everybody, and it was a complete knocks out, and it shocked everybody, all because of a man called Mike. Anything else you want to add to that?
GG.
I mean, that's the best way to describe that. GG. Epsilon remain undefeated. Since I-46, they've only lost one map all the time. And all I'm going to say is, Australians, Americans, are you ready for I-49? That's all I'm going to say, because that is fantastic. It's a fantastic game. If you want to keep watching us, people, there's a lovely follow button right there. Please follow us. You're fantastic. We have Twitter at VanillaTV. We have Facebook at VanillaTV.org. YouTube, VanillaTV.org. Thank you, Ari, for putting the links onto the stream. You can follow me at Skully VTV. You can follow him at Magical Killer Cow. I think I've said that right. I want to give a huge shout out to our streamer at Animal. He is an animal. He is amazing. Thank you so much again for streaming, my friend. Thank you once again, Haydn, for another entertaining night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching us once again. We have been VanillaTV. He has been Haydn. I have been Skully. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.